We are dealing with proposed legislation in this meeting that has prompted very emotional responses on both sides of this issue. My office has received reports of threatening language on social media, and the committee as a whole has witnessed in public testimony the vulgarity and aggression that I speak of. I will not permit language and actions in this meeting which may contribute to the breakdown of our social decorum. Members, the matter before us represents a substantial shift in land use with potentially dramatic economic and social effects. It will not be a decision that will be taken lightly. We'll consider all the arguments, those who support and those who oppose. For members of the public in the chamber and online, I will not tolerate the dissension on this issue to be expressed in language that violates the council's standard of decorum. And some examples of that language that was used are occupiers, illegal invaders, transplants, extractors, colonists, settlers, terrorists, foreigners, and a whole host of others. But please address your comments in favor or against the bill to the chair of the committee, not to others in the office or other members of the public. I will need to enforce the decorum in this meeting and in all future meetings on this bill to respect this space as a safe place for all voices to speak. And again, I ask for your kukua. So let's proceed with public testimony.
Chair.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you went through a list. And is that list of words available? And I'd also like to get an opinion from the attorney about restricting free speech.
You want to talk to Mr.
Yes.
Nunakawa? Mr. Nunakawa?
The list that she just read, is that like, we're enforcing that specific list?
I'm not enforcing anything. Let me just answer that.
Well, I mean, you listed words.
I'm
and so
asking,
if
I'm just
testifiers
asking.
say those words, are they then, what happens?
I will ask them to kindly not use those words. That's what I will do. But if I say it up front now, at least everybody knows that we have to have some standards of decorum because it's about the social fabric. And we
Okay,
want to
but
hold that. But if you'd like,
It's okay to
Mr.
call
Nunakawa.
people bully. Like that's not a word. That's
It is.
inappropriate.
It's a word that people are using to describe what they're feeling when they believe that someone's saying something that may be threatening to them.
And so the same rationale cannot be used for the testifiers who are using the words that you just listed, because that's how they're feeling about being pushed out of their home.
Chair, point of order.
Yes.
As a member, I'd like to weigh in. I respect what you're saying, but the tone and the aggression is sort of striving to what we're trying to mitigate, to encourage the testifiers to all recognize that we're all members of the community and the concept of decorum. I respect what you're saying about the words themselves. I think it's more what I hear the chair saying is the intent and the vibe. I think we have the opportunity to have a very positive, constructive dialogue today. I don't feel alienated from anybody. I love the pool this morning. I think if we can set an example, I mean, no disrespect for interrupting. I'm trying to assist us as a body to set the tone that we are receptive to everybody's view and everybody's opinion and acknowledging that it's contentious. It hurts in a lot of ways. So thank you, Chair. And I ask my colleague, thank you for allowing me to weigh in, and I mean no disrespect.
Chair,
Yes.
I don't feel disrespected, Member Cook, mahalo, and I don't feel you interrupted me, but I would like to hear from our attorney.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Nunakawa.
So the chair does have some discretion on keeping decorum. I'm not sure a blanket ban on words is necessarily it's sort of on a case-by-case basis. It's in order to keep order and to keep the meeting progressing and allow business to continue. So the chair does have discretion but it would be sort of on a case-by-case. Does that answer your question?
No,
or-
it feels like censorship and a violation of the First Amendment right to free speech. Would you like a recess to like research this a little more before we move forward with starting with our first testifier?
Sure.
How much time, Mr. Nunakawa? Okay, okay. It is now 9:17, and Mr. Nunakawa has asked for 10 minutes. But knowing you all, that 10 minutes is going to involve a little bit more. So why don't we go, it is now 9:17, so let's recess until 9:20. So the HIU committee meeting is now in recess.
9:20?
10
What-
minutes, or 9:30. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Good? Okay. It is 9:31, and the HLU committee meeting will now reconvene. And I think we left off with Mr. Nunakawa.
Yes, Chair. So going back to the issue at hand about limiting testimony, Chair may limit testimony in order to keep decorum. I would not advise a list of words. I would advise to allow the testifiers to testify according to what they want to say. And if it becomes an issue of being disruptive, to address it then. But to allow the testifiers to testify in the way that they would like. It's a case-by-case basis.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nunakawa. Okay, so does that answer your question, Ms. Rollins-Fernandez?
Mahalo Chair. So to clarify, the list that was read off as examples earlier, that's not what we're following.
Correct. Correct.
We're not saying you're not allowed to use these
Correct.
words.
Yeah, other than things like profanity or things
Correct.
that are obviously inciting violence, I think that a blanket ban on certain words would not be advisable.
Okay. And then the case-by-case basis would be just the chair asking, as she said earlier,
Yes.
if they would please refrain
Yes.
from using
Yes.
an inciting word.
Yes.
And if it gets out of hand, maybe taking a recess at that time, but to address it when it is an issue.
Okay.
Does that help?
Mahalo, Mr. Nunakawa. Mahalo, Chair.
Sure.